Julie from stampinjulie.com. We bring creativity right to your door, and I am super excited today to show you this little Angry Bird purse. First of all, we start with the purse die, and let me show you how to run that through your Big Shot. This is the die right here. I don't know if you can see the imprint of the purse here in the handle, but you're going to sandwich it between your cutting plates, and you put your paper right on top, and this is just a half sheet of paper cut like you would cut for a standard card, and then you put your cutting plate on the top and just run that right through your Big Shot. After you do that, then you have this die here, and it's all cut out for you. All the score lines are there for you. It's really simple and easy to put together. And I've already gone ahead and scored these in, and just score everything in, and then you'll put your sticky strip on these outside tabs. So you just need 2 strips of the sticky strip on these tabs, and then you're going to peel that off. And actually, before I do that, I like to take my bone folder and just curl this lid a little bit. You'll see in a minute it makes it easier to close that down when it's assembled. The other thing I like to do is I like to take my paper snips and just put it inside this little slit and give it a little wiggle, and that also will make it easier to put your tab in when it comes time to put your tab in. Alright, so we're going to take the tape off here. We're going to take the cover, I should say, off the sticky strip, the little red tabs here, and we're going to assemble our purse. And what you want to do now is just put this down, put the bottom of the purse down here on the ground like this, and then put your sides in, and then just adhere those sides together right like that, and then do the other one. It's just easiest if you put it down on your table so you can get those bottoms lined up just right. And there you go. It's just that easy. And then you're going to put your tab, you can put your tab in like that. Alright? And that makes the base of your purse right there. So to make our bird, we're going to start with a 3.5-inch circle. And I've gone ahead and cut the circle. Actually, I used the other end of this circle for the purse that I just showed you. I put a little bit of adhesive right here on the circle so that it will stay in place, so that I can trace, or a lot of times what I like to do is just use my bone folder and create a little score line and use that to trim out. Of course, I'm blind, I'm getting blind, so it's harder for me to see these things, but you could also use a pencil. I just always worried about the pencil showing through. And once I have that trimmed, then I'm going to take, and I use the multi-purpose liquid glue for this project, because once this dries, it is not going anywhere, but it also allows you a little bit of wiggle room. So it allows you just long enough to get things wiggled into place where you want it. Okay, can you see that? So that's all glued in place. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the beak. And I've already punched out an oval with the punch, and then I just line this up on my grid pad, and usually I do it where the measurements are, but so you can see it better, I'm doing it here in the middle of my pad. And then you just score, and again, a lot of times I just use my bone folder, the tip of my bone folder, because it doesn't have to be perfect, and just score on either side of the center. And that's what you're going to use to fold that beak into place. But before we before we fold that way, we're just going to take it and just kind of round it a little bit, and then use your score lines to score that beak down. And again, use my bone folder to get a nice crease on either side there. Oops, it keeps slipping out of my hand. There we go. All right, and then that gives you just a little bit of a, if you want to go back in and do a little bit of a curve there. Okay, and again, I'm going to use the multi-purpose glue, this liquid glue, because it will allow a little bit of wiggle room. And since this beak is going to be glued right down where the tab is, we want to make sure that it's nice and sturdy and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so just wiggle it around, get it where you want it, hold it into place long enough so that it has a chance to dry a bit, and there we have the beak. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is the feathers. I punched these two little feathers out with this feather off this bird. But these are a little bulky, I think, for our bird. You could just go ahead and put them in place and that would be fine, but I like them a little thinner, so we're going to use this trick. I've shown this trick to you before in other videos if you've been following along, and I'm going to take that feather and I'm going to put it on a handle. This is just a strip of the white, Whisper White cardstock. It's nice and, you know, somewhat lightweight, lighter weight than the other cardstocks. And then I feed it back in to the punch, hopefully you can see that, and trim off just a little bit more. And by putting it back in the punch, it allows me to keep the shape without make it narrower and still keep the shape. Sometimes if you just try to use your scissors, you can lose some of that shape. All right, and this becomes our feathers, and I just am going to take the one feather and glue it to the other, and like this. Maybe make it just a little bit more like that. And here again, I think I'll take a little bit of this liquid glue, put it on here, and put it on the back of our box, right like that. So now the next thing we need to do, and the most important thing that we need to do, is to put the eyes on our Angry Bird. So we're going to, I start with a black 3/4 of an inch circle, a white 1/2 inch circle, and a black 1/4 inch circle, and then just quickly assemble those. And then we're going to take this and we're going to adhere this right to our box. Now you notice I put the glue kind of on the bottom because our eye is going to just pop off of the box just a little bit here. Alright, so we have two eyes and we need the eyebrows so that he looks angry instead of goofy. And how we do that is we're going to take a piece of black cardstock and we're going to use the 1 inch square punch, and when you feed this in to make the eyebrow, you'll notice the eyebrows are narrow at the bottom and a little thicker at the top. So when you feed this into your punch, you're going to just feed it in so that one side is a little narrower than the other. And you might need to trim just a touch off of there. So we're just going to trim that little piece off of there. That's it. Alright, so that's how you do your eyebrow. That's how you create your eyebrow. And I'm going to use Dimensionals to put this on, and I'll use the edge. You know how the edges are connected, and just trim off just a piece of Dimensional, Stampin' Dimensional, and then you'll put that on the back of your eyebrow, like this. And don't get too close to the front, but you will need it on the bottom part because that's where it's going to be adhered, and the other part of the eyebrow is coming off of the eye. So there we have an eyebrow, and I already have another one ready to go. Right like that. And there we have our eyebrows on there. Now the last thing you'll want to do is put your handle on. And to do that, you just use glue dots. I'm going to use my glue dots. And the handle does have kind of a front and a back. You actually want to put your glue dot on the front of the handle. When it's die cut, the front kind of has a rounded edge to it, and the back kind of looks like the back. And so then you just put that in like that, and then do that on the other side. Same thing, feed that in, and you have your completed Angry Bird. So you can order your Petite purse die and online at stampingjulie.com, and any other punches or cardstock that you might need to make this fun project. So enjoy!